All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
We are people.
We are all one.
We are one.
What should we call this?
What are we? This?
This.
What is this?
This is a review of the movie The Guest, 2014.
Yeah, that is right.
What would you call this movie?
Would
you call this an action movie? Would you call this a thriller?
Horror? Would you call it an action?
It's definitely got a horror soundtrack and sensibility to it at points.
Definitely has a horror director.
It has zooms. Zooms are from horror, right?
It's got pumpkin and like jack-o'-lanterns.
It takes place during Halloween,
which I thought was cool.
Yeah, that was
the movie The Guest. If you didn't catch
this is The Guest, 2014,
starring Dan Stevens,
directed by Adam Wingard.
Yeah, Dan Stevens. If you don't know him, he's a renowned actor known for such brilliant roles as
Downton Abbey's something or other. I don't know.
Sir Lancelot from Night at the Museum 3.
Hold on, let me look him up on Wikipedia so I can properly make fun of him.
Also, he plays random guy with blue eyes in A Walk Among the Tombstones. Pretty much his whole filmography is 2014. But anyway, I thought it was good in this film.
Oh, so, he was in Nothing I've Ever Seen Before.
Exactly.
Yep. Nothing I've Ever Seen.
So The Guest. We were probably wondering, like, what the fuck is it? Why am I listening to this?
What is The Guest? Who is The Guest? Why is The Guest?
Why is he the guest? Is he a guest? Like, what's gonna happen? Well,
I have been hearing about this movie, but only in passing, and only because, like, I'm familiar with this guy's previous work, You're Next. Have you seen You're Next?
I didn't see You're Next. No,
I liked You're Next.
You told me you liked it, yeah.
Yeah, I actually liked it a lot, and I've rewatched that movie a few times, and I'm baffled as to how this movie gets such...
poor ratings?
No, it's gotten critical praise, is the thing.
Yeah.
It's gotten the opposite. It's gotten, like, universal praise, and it just kind of came out of nowhere, and I'm wondering, like... why didn't I not hear more about this movie?
Like, why isn't this guy
Yeah, why isn't this movie bigger? I mean, like, it doesn't have a lot of big stars, but it seems like it'd be easy to market.
Yeah, this movie?
Yeah.
Like, basically, if you don't know what the movie is about, it's a soldier. He's a soldier. He comes... Dan Stevens plays a soldier, and he introduces himself to this family, the Peterson family, with... a mom and dad and a son and daughter. Mm-hmm. And he introduces himself as the friend of their son who died at war.
Yeah.
He's basically says he was a fellow soldier in his company.
He improves to them. He shows the mom a picture of them together.
There's a picture of
them in the same company together, the same platoon.
But immediately you know this isn't going to be some, like, just right off the get-go.
From the way it's filmed,
it's not going to be like some, like, okay. Like touching family story about how this guy comes.
Yeah, we are not spoiling anything when we say that the movie starts with them in the soundtrack screaming at you, "This guy's the bad guy."
Be careful.
Be wary of him. They zoom in on his face. The soundtrack like rises every time he shows up. Like, and he talks, and he's so fucking smooth and charming in the beginning of this movie.
Just handsome as anyone can hope to be.
Like, he's still like off-putting, but you can buy somebody buying into his bullshit.
I mean, like He definitely has and he woos you a little bit too.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, like you want to like him. The whole like
that's the thing is that even though everybody's screaming at me and me myself, I'm saying this guy's clearly the bad guy. I still want to like him through the entire movie. Like, I really wanted to like him. I can't describe why. Just really wanted to, even towards the end, which we'll get to later. But I was still rooting for him after he's done something horrendous.
So pretty much this guy, and I think Valdo and I can speak together when we say that we both very much enjoyed this movie.
That is correct. I love this movie too, and let's go through the reasons as to why we love this movie, and let's see if they gel well though, because I did love this movie. I had problems with it still.
It's definitely not a perfect movie. I mean,
it's not a masterpiece.
Who is in this movie? Like, that's like, there's like the one reason. It's definitely not a masterpiece.
Yeah.
it like anyway, I'll let you like you seem like you have a point.
Well, I mean, like, I think I would just want to start out by saying all the positives we have. Let's get all the positives out there. And you know what? All my negatives have to do with the end. And we're gonna do a spoiler at the end of this podcast to
discuss. Yeah. So ending. For those of you who haven't seen it, we're gonna talk about all the reasons like we liked it and what we thought of it, and it's definitely a movie worth watching.
Hell yes!
We both agree on that. But like at the end, we're gonna discuss like kind of where we thought the movie fell short.
I guess we both agree on everything then in this movie. Keep in mind, I didn't ask him any. I didn't want to know what his opinion was, but now I'm finding out we pretty much have the exact same opinion. Okay, so let's start off with all the good. The performances. I thought the performances were great. I really liked the lead guy in this movie. He fucking carried the shit out of this movie.
He pretty much like he didn't carry it. Like he definitely carried this movie. Like the whole movie is basically riding on his performance, and it's definitely like that's probably the reason why I watched the whole movie is this balance between do I like him, do I not like him,
what is your opinion of him? And another thing is that.
Like what is he? Like what is he going for?
There's a great mystery in this movie in that they don't reveal. They keep teasing you with what his motivation is. Yeah. And we're gonna discuss his motivation after this, but I love the tease, and it really helps propel you through the movie. And the movie, let's get it out of the way right now. This probably has some of my favorite action scenes in a while, just from the way they're filmed, from the way they're choreographed, and in the context of the action scenes,
exactly.
Especially.
Like, because anybody can make an action scene that's just kind of looks cool, but having the
movie,
even though it's really low budget action, it's still
it's still effective.
It's still effective, and it's not I'm not saying it's bad action. I'm just saying it's very. It's very tapered, very tapered down and
very movie action.
Yeah, and they can't do as much as you feel like
they can't do the raid stunts or anything. They can't do backflips and Tony Jaa flips. But
because of the character and the story behind it, you care about these action stunts more than you would say a giant blockbuster film.
And that's the reason why I like this movie is that you care about the characters, and that makes a huge difference in an action movie. I've seen so many action movies nowadays where it's just fight scene for no reason. There is no strong character development or emotional build-up, and this is really a testament to how if you have strong characters, well-defined characters, and well-fleshed-out characters, when those action scenes come out, they make them twice as more 10 times more enjoyable, 1,000 times more fun, and it just makes you want to keep watching the movie. And the reason this movie works is because of how they build to the action scenes, I think. Even if the action scenes don't really necessarily fulfill everything you want them to, they're still the way you got there was so enjoyable, and they're satisfying in that way. Yeah. And I really liked it. The director of this, Adam Wingard, also takes a really unique approach to how he does this movie. It's very late 80s, early 90s filmmaking in a weird sort of way. With the red coloring at the end, with the red lighting at the end, with the zooms and the way they had camera moves during dialogue scenes. This stuff that I used to see a lot in 80s and 90s films, and he uses that to great effect, I think. In the movie.
It definitely has. Yeah. This movie, if I didn't know it had come out in 2014 when I watched it, I probably would have guessed that this came out 10 years ago.
Yeah, the only way I could tell it takes place now is just from the cars. Knowing that they were modern cars. But other than that, you're this movie could have been made in the 80s. Just replace the Iraq War with Vietnam. This movie could have been made in 1980 and nobody would have noticed. Because even during a fight scene, there's a zoom into his face, a quick zoom in, and it's badass. I loved it. It totally fits within the context of the scene. It totally works. It just makes that scene so much more cool. And this movie is really a labor of love. I feel he really wanted to make an entertaining and fun movie. Yeah, yeah, and it was really entertaining and really fun.
It's definitely fun. Above all else, if you want to see that, if you want to watch a fun movie, this is definitely a really fun, a really fun film. like you were saying about like some of the camera moves, like even though they're like a little old fashioned, like it still works like a charm. Like it like
the zoom in,
and it's just well told, like where, like when to do it, like you know what I mean. Like you don't notice a zoom when it's like well placed. You know what I mean? Like well placed.
I like the way he uses the. There's a scene at the beginning where it's just the guest. What's the character's name? I forget his name. David is just talking, and he's just talking. He's fucking charming as hell, but they zoom in on his face, and the way they zoom in just makes you go, I don't trust that motherfucker. Like, there was no zoom, I'd be watching just David talking. But with the zoom, it adds a lot, and I think the reason I like this movie so much is that the style, the way he films it adds to the mood and the atmosphere, and it just gives it a really unique and cool feel, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He definitely excels in the atmosphere. Like they set up Halloween right away. Like so a normal horror movie I feel like would like, and this isn't exactly horror, but a lot of normal movies would convince you that like would try to like convince you that this is like a normal guy. They would. You know what I mean? But this movie starts off right
unapologetically.
Like it doesn't. It's just like we know what we are. Here's what Here's what we are. We're not gonna like surprise you with it later. We just want to hold you in suspense. And
another thing is, another joy of the movie is that you have no idea where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Because there's a point in the movie where I thought the movie shifts, and then I went, wow, this is way bigger than I thought it was going to be.
So much bigger.
What the fuck?
Needless to say, let's keeping it as vague as possible. About halfway through this movie, you've been in this town pretty much the whole time, and there's a moment where you leave the town for a second, and you
went, oh shit, this is big.
Oh damn.
This has meaning and power. Shit, sorry.
Phone ringing.
How professional. I'm going to turn that shit off.
When you come into this room, you enter a contractual obligation to turn off your cell phone.
I have a contractual obligation to rearrange your face.
You hear that, guys?
With my dick.
He just
It's possible. I've done it before.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Okay, where were we? The movie I completely forgot. Let's just give our ratings.
Oh yeah, the halfway point. So we've talked about it enough.
So
ratings.
I think this movie is way more than the sum of its flaws, and I think it's really cool. I think it's a great movie. I give it a really high recommendation. I think it's really fun. It's really, and when we say indie film, it doesn't feel like an indie film at all. It feels a lot bigger than it just feels really big. It feels like it's a really big movie, and it's just really cool to watch. So I give it a very high recommendation.
Very high recommendation.
I recommend everybody see this movie and enjoy it. It's not the masterpiece that everyone's yelling about. Don't set your expectations too high, because I think that happened to me a little bit. Like, my expectations were really high for this movie because everyone was recommending it to me and everyone was talking about it. And then I saw it, and I didn't think it was as great as everyone said, but it was still... I thought it was really good.
I'd agree with that as well. I'd say I'd have to give it just a ride on the Terminator's back. A long grab onto Arnold Schwarzenegger and just imagine running like on the back of him for a mile.
Best Universal ride ever.
That's my rating. Figure out whether that's positive or negative.
That's a guess. So
spoilers. So spoilers. Anybody who is listening who hasn't seen the movie, please go
Cut
away.
out now.
Don't be one of those dicks who stays and like reads the last pages of a book first. Like get out, leave.
Plus, you'll be able to enjoy our spoiler discussion more if you've seen the end of the movie.
Exactly. And
so
spoilers.
Okay, end of
the reason
movie.
why I made a Terminator reference is because for me,
the movie.
About I'd say a third of the way in. About a third of the way in, I was like, this movie like feels really like the Terminator, and I didn't realize how right I was.
Yeah,
I sent that text message. I was only like a third of the way through, and I was like, holy this movie is the Terminator.
Yeah, it's essentially the Terminator. So wait, this is another test of the movie. I just saw this movie the other day. I haven't really looked up. I never really asked anybody to explain this movie to me. I don't quite fully still understand what the fuck happened at the end.
Yeah.
And it's not in this. We've had this. I've made this point before on this podcast, but it's not in a ambiguous, cool way.
Oh yeah,
ambiguous.
Think about it.
It's not like the end of Birdman. It's not like the end to like Lawrence of Arabia or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just okay. I'm not gonna say anything, but actually, I've never seen the end of Lawrence of Arabia. I was just making a point. So yeah, I'll lie to make points. It's how I get a buy in this world. What was I saying?
Rosebud.
Oh shit! It's a sled.
I don't know why I thought
it's a sled. We're in spoiler territory
now. No, I'm not even gonna say what movie it is. So
but
they don't
the
know.
end of this movie is just like it's bizarre because it just raises the question: how the fuck is he still alive?
I think I was convinced that he was like
a robot.
Like not necessarily like a they did some shit to him. So spoiler territory. You know what happens at the end? Like
they have the superhuman.
Him getting stabbed in the chest, shot. He was shot in the heart. Also, that part, like I don't know if you caught it.
Rest in peace. The gravestone in the back.
Oh yeah. I saw that. But the part where, you know the chick, so if you watch the movie, the chick that he, like, bangs at the party,
yeah,
like, later on when he, like, shoots her later on, like, that was one of my favorite moments in the movie, because he literally is just like, bucket, and he pulls out a gun, shoots her right in the heart, and there's a moment where the camera lingers on her, and she, like, touches it, and kind of looks up, and it's, like, right at her heart, so for me, maybe I'm reading into that shit, but I
shot her in the heart?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, dude, I didn't even notice that. That's awesome.
I just thought that part was just like, ah!
Yes. Okay. Yeah. See, and those are the best parts about the movie. The little fun things they add, and they add a lot of little fun.
Yeah,
things
it's definitely. It's just so my dog is barking in the background. If you didn't, if you might have heard it earlier, just ignore that shit. She's just mad that she can't be in the room. Anyway, sorry about the dog thing.
But
the end of the movie.
The end of the movie was just like it's such a. Yeah, it comes out of nowhere, and it's such an odd decision because I didn't like it. I just didn't like it as a decision. I thought the movie should have taken a different route or gone a different way. It's weird how they decided to imply I'm going to look at Wikipedia. I'm going to see what they say.
What they say
happened at the end.
So the end basically from what they fight whatever. The boy ends up killing him, which is satisfying because the whole boy like I don't care, like I thought we were friends, like I don't care about my sister or my family.
Mm-hmm. wait, sorry, repeat what you just said.
The boy who is like I don't care about my sister or my family.
Oh, I love that line. I love how he just totally woos the brother, but you know what? The way he wooed him, I buy it. Yeah, because he defended the shit out of him, and you know what? The best scenes in the movie, my favorite scenes in the movie, involve his subplot of him with the bullies, him at the school,
all the
everything with the bullies in this movie I thought was great because whenever they do this in movies, they never have like good comeuppance. It's always like too shitty or too like bullshitty or like I don't know. There's like I don't know. It never satisfies me like it did in this movie. This movie just satisfied the shit out of me, especially the scene where he has this conversation with the principal.
Oh yeah,
that scene is just flat fucking perfect.
That scene was awesome. Yeah,
that scene is perfect.
Excuse. I didn't even know he was gay.
No, just I don't care. I'm just gonna say he's gay, and we're gonna get what we want.
It's so funny how that would totally work.
Yeah, and you buy it. You buy every second of it. And that's another thing in this movie that I liked is that. May not like the decision, but it's believable up until the very last moment. It's believable. Mm-hmm. I bought it. I bought all the scenes. I was able to buy into the action scenes.
See, even the end, it was probably because I just decided it was the Terminator really early on. Yeah. And, maybe that's why I accepted the end for more of what it was. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
In some ways it didn't fit.
I see that.
But, doesn't mean I thought the movie was like, oh, It was the perfect ending.
It was the best ending ever. Well, it's
so basically he walks out.
Yeah. Oh,
which I thought was cool, like him leaving. I like
the way they did that with him in the fireman's outfit was pretty cool. But the one thing
like when there was like there are two bodies, I was like, he's still alive.
Mm-hmm. I heard that. I went, wait, he's still alive? Why are they doing and that was the first instance where I went, why are they doing that? And then they show the fireman scene. And I'm like, why? And then she says, what the fuck? And then it cuts.
Yeah, it cuts out on, what the fuck?
And I really wanted to say that right there, but not in a positive way. I wasn't saying with the movie, I was saying it at the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Like, I definitely didn't like the what the fuck. I thought it definitely was very it was very unsatisfying. It's kind of like, it's just like, okay, we did all this shit. We put all this good character shit together.
It felt out of place in this type of movie.
Yeah, honestly. And while I liked it, like, while, you know, like, as far as a satisfaction note, it felt like they probably could have gotten away with, like, just not even having that in. You know?
Yeah, they could have gotten away with just cutting that scene entirely. Like, cutting that final line entirely.
At the same time, it still makes it more interesting, and we still got answers. I knew something.
We have room for a sequel, guys.
Yeah, there's the guest too.
And they were talking about your next
family vacation.
A perfect getaway. Well, like, I guess just my thing with the ending is just like...
What is he? What... For me, like, they implied, like, he's a weapon. They just kept saying, he's a weapon, he's a weapon, he's a weapon.
He's a weapon, he's a...
Yeah, and also, like, for me, like, I was totally, like, he's some sort of weird, like... They did some shit to not only his emotions, like that one scene. I really like the scene where where he walks into her bedroom, like towards the end, and he like walks down and he's like, don't worry, I'm like, I'll be leaving in a couple days. It's okay, right? And then he just like flips.
Yeah, he flips on a. That's and you know that's a testament to the guy's performance because he flips on a fucking dime in this movie.
He just like
and like his face doesn't even change that much. It just looks suddenly scary and intimidating, and you just want to back away from it. Like you don't notice the change. It just suddenly the air in the room gets colder. Like
your heart just skips a beat.
You start fading in and out. Like you see blackness like coming in and around.
It's like engrossing the scene. You can only look at those freaking blue eyes and just be like, oh my god.
His eyes were so goddamn electric blue. Like it was just. It was really cool though. Like the scene where he smashes.
There's definitely a lot of cool scenes, and I think that's the reason why the ending is like unsatisfying. Is because there's a lot of cool things that went into it.
Yeah, it just wasn't as cool as the rest of the movie.
Yeah, like
it just wasn't as cool.
It just was like, all right, we need an ending.
Yeah, it felt like that. It felt more written than the other scenes. It felt more like
it felt
just lame. Well, I guess that's our discussion. I don't think that really takes away from the movie though, all that much. No. I'll just whenever I see it, I just stop the movie before that scene, and then I'll come up with my own ending
in your head. Yeah, for me, like. For me to come up with a real proper ending, that, like, I think I need, like, another half hour to an hour.
Yeah, because, to make up for that.
For, like, how much, like...
It raises a question that, like, oh, no, you need to fucking explain this right now. You can't end the movie and not explain what just happened, which is, why is he still alive?
Like, what is his motivation? Like, exactly, what exactly... Well,
it was to protect the family, but then he just kind of gave up on that.
It's like they said something. It was like they didn't address it well enough. They were just like there's one line where like the black guy was like, There's
that one actor that I can never remember his name or where I've seen him before.
He's like, who the fuck is that guy?
He's got a recognizable.
I know you.
He's got the most recognizable face, but I can't remember what I've seen him in before. What his name is. I don't know a thing about this guy.
Except you're just like, God, I know
the black dude.
The black dude. But yeah, that part where he's like, he's flips on a dime.
That's a great black dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
That's his name, by the way.
He should have been Lawrence Fishburne's character in The Signal.
oh yeah, he would have done it. He would have done. You know what? That would have been better casting. You just casted really better.
Shit,
don't bring that movie up again now.
Never again.
I'm gonna find out what this guy's name is.
On that note, search for the random black guy.
Lance Reddick. What's he been in?
We'll send out a gift card to anybody who emails us. The black
White House Down.
The black guy's name.
Even John Wick.